jurisdiction here. You got a better idea?
Black Widow is the latest Marvel entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the second female-driven lead story in the Marvel Universe, and it is directed by Kate Shortland and is written by Jack Schaefer, Ned Benson, and Eric Pearson. And it stars Scarlett Johansson once again as Natalie, aka the Black Widow, Florence Pugh as her sister, David Harbour as her father, also the Red Guardian, O.T. Fangbanel, Olga Kurylenko, with William Hurt, with Wary Winston, and of course, Rachel Weisz. Is it Rachel Weisz or Rachel Weisz? I was going to say Rachel Weisz. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. I'm sorry if I got any of those names wrong. The movie itself, set before the events of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, right after the events of Civil War. So it is, for obvious reasons, obviously. And it is the second female-driven story. The first female was, of course, being Captain Marvel. And I'm not going to lie. I was so excited for this movie to come out. I mean, the pandemic kind of pushed it. It kept pushing it. And I even bought a shirt way before the pandemic of Black Widow. See? And so I was really looking forward to this movie, okay? Unfortunately, the movie did not live up to my expectations. And I like the movie a lot. There are parts of me, like the first 20 minutes of the movie is fantastic. I love the opening, and it's a really dark and brutal opening, you know, and you just hear Smells Like Teen Spirit playing, and I really love that the narrative of it was that you see like her tragic past, and it made me feel for this character. And I really, when I went back and I started watching all the Marvel movies leading up to Black Widow, because it's been a year since I watched them all, or 2019 actually, since I watched them all, and I really was just going back and seeing all this that she's went through to this, and it made me feel sorry. Like, this is actually, I used to think the Hulk was the most, you know, scarred character. Now, she is one of the most scarred character, and I felt so bad for her. And I used to think, you know, she was just this character who's like, she was like James Bond, okay? Like the female James Bond. She flirts a lot, but then she kicks a lot of butt and defeats the bad guy at the end of the day. I always thought of her as a female Bond. There's so much more and tragic backstory to her that I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. I feel like a creep for just thinking her that way. And I really, like, I respected her a lot more watching this movie. And Scarlett Johansson obviously does a great job again as Black Widow. I don't know how many times she's played this character, but she's been here since 2010, and that's a long time. We're in 2021 now, so I mean, really, I'm grateful, and I would love for her to come back and do another movie if they could figure out a way, but I don't think that's going to happen if you've seen Endgame. But, and after this movie set and kind of sets up afterwards of Endgame, not like, you know, oh, it could be another one before Endgame. But, I mean, it's great, you know, I mean, and I understand that this is kind of the passing of the mantle. She's passing the mantle to Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow, and that's fine. I'm going to tell you what I did like and disliked about the movie, and I will say what I did like about the movie besides the first 20 minutes. I love Taskmaster's look. I thought Taskmaster, every time you've seen Taskmaster on scene, was great. My big problem, though, with Taskmaster, I liked the whole narrative. Like, and when I went back and rewatched it for a second time, I noticed things, because I was going to see it in theaters, but unfortunate circumstances prevented me from going, so I just bought it on Disney Plus and watched it. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, and I watched it again the second time, and I was like, I picked up on things. Like, the first 20 minutes, it's like, okay, they're not just assassins. They're actually being sold out, like they're being integrated into a society where, like, they're being experimented on to become, like, like super soldiers in a way. And it's so much more than that. Like, and you see, like, him shaking hands with all the presidents and prime ministers and you know, Saudi princes and all that of the world, and you're seeing that they're just being sold out and shipped and marketed out like, you know, their property. And that right there was just like, oh my God, you know, I understood that backstory. And when I was watching this, it made me feel sad for them, because especially young Natalie just sells it. Like, oh, it's so sad at the beginning. That first 20 minutes got me. And I've rewatched it, that first 20 minutes over and over again, because I'm like, this is so sad. But it's so good too, you know. And like, the Smells Like Teen Spirit cover was done beautifully. I really like that. And I also love how the dynamic between the family is. Like, I love, like, Florence Pugh's character. I keep forgetting her name. I'm going to remember it, and I'm going to feel bad later for not remembering it now. And I love, like, Florence, there's a funny moment where they're in a helicopter, and they're breaking the dad out of jail. Spoilers. I'm going to go, I first should have said this first, I'm going into spoilers in the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, sorry. Go watch it, and then come back and watch this review. But I'm just going to tell you, there's some funny moments. Like, there's a thing where she's like, her dad, they break their dad out of prison. She's like, well, I haven't, you know, she says, I can't have children. They took all of my Stolfeld, and she's saying in a Russian accent. I was laughing so hard. She's going into detail. He's like, oh, it's okay. And then he's like the Red Guard. He's like, oh, the Russian Captain America. It's so funny. And there's like a series of prison where he's just giving people like arm wrestling and getting a tattoo, which I'm like, why are you getting a tattoo now? That's like the worst thing to do when you're arm wrestling somebody. You know, but I mean, I thought that was funny. I understand the playfulness. There are dumb moments in the movie, like the tattoo scene. There's also dumb moments like you find out the whole reason for this, and I really say, I did like there's certain things I didn't like about the movie. The things like I liked was the family dynamic. I liked the whole dinner sequence, and I liked the beginning, and I also liked like Task, all that action. The action was pretty well done, even though it feels like the same action, like the whole sequence of where like the Red Room is and stuff. I like that whole sequence. It felt self-contained, but in a good way. And I always like William Hurt. Oh, I love General Ross. I want more General Ross in the future. I'm so hoping he's in She-Hulk. So hoping. I've been waiting for a sequel to The Incredible Hulk since 2008. And I cannot, this is the closest we're going to get, you know, because we got Abomination. We have Bruce Banner, who's aka the Hulk. If we get Betty and General Ross in the movie, or the show, sorry, Disney Plus show, I am going to lose it. I'm just going to be so happy. I even have a hat I got the other day, a Hulk hat, that I cannot wait. And I understand, it kind of scares me, though, for She-Hulk, because that's a half-hour comedy. And I heard that, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that, because, I mean, if it's done like WandaVision, then I'm fine. But if it's done like, you know, like it's just like, you know, like a laugh track or something where it's like How I Met Your Mother, which I love How I Met Your Mother, but I'm just saying if it's done like that, but like Hulk, then I'm not going to be okay with that, because I really want it to be like a serious driven story. It can be funny at times like Deadpool, but it has to still be story. And I heard the other day they might break the fourth wall like Deadpool, and I'm like, if it's done like Deadpool, then I'm fine. But if it's not done like Deadpool, and if it's done more for laughs, then I'm going to have problems, you know. But we'll see. It comes out in 2022, and maybe I'll be sold by then. I don't know why I just dropped off She-Hulk. Oh yeah, General Ross. He really didn't have any lines in the movie, and I was like, really? That feels like a wasted character, which I heard he had. They cut some stuff out that maybe will be on the Blu-ray. But I like that he was in the movie, but I feel like he was not in that really much, which it really wasn't. And I thought Ray Winston, who plays he's the villain of the movie, I thought he was really just there a couple of scenes and that was it, you know, like I liked the scenes he was in, I really liked. And I thought he was a good villain. I just felt like if he would have had more scenes, like just like Taskmaster, I felt like that was a good villain, but if they would have had more scenes, it would have been so much better. Like Winter Soldier. They would have kept the pace going like Winter Soldier, perfect. But they didn't. I just kind of felt like, okay, there's the villain, now we're going to go do something else, and then you're like, you forget the villain, even Taskmaster's in the movie. You're like, oh yeah, the Taskmaster. Oh yeah, the Red Room. Oh yeah, I forgot I was watching Black Widow for a minute. You know? And you're just like, and stuff like that kind of irks me. Like, I will say is the Taskmaster reveal was not strong at all. And I kind of felt like there was things that I picked up on that you kind of made you think, oh, this person is Taskmaster. And then you realize, no, that person's not Taskmaster, this person is. And I was like, really? Like, I guess. Oh, yeah, and I was just like, and it just didn't feel strong enough. It felt like just like a cop out, you know, like it felt like on WandaVision, the Ralph Boner joke, you know, where like you find out, like you think, oh, they're bringing X-Men in the MCU, and they're like, no, just an actor named Ralph Boner, and I'm like, ha ha ha. I don't know why Marvel likes doing fake outs. That's like their thing, okay? Like Disney's known to kill off a parent in every movie. Marvel is known to do fake outs like that to them. I guess that's Kevin Feige laughing. I'm like, oh, can't wait to just do this. They really think the Mandarin, this is the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. Oh, it's not. His name is Trevor Slattery. Somewhere Shane Black's like, that's going to be so stupid. But I'm not going to tell him that. It's just like WandaVision. He's like, oh, he's an actor named Ralph Boner. And then Showrunner's like, I want to laugh, but that's so stupid. And then he's like, Black Widow. Wait, Taskmaster? Everybody's going to be thinking it's someone else when it's really going to be this guy's daughter. Just wait. They're going to laugh when his is going to be meaningless in this entire movie because Taskmaster's going to be in a few scenes, he's going to be out of it, and then she's going to be like, oh yeah, there's a magic potion that makes people go, like, because they're using pigs to mind control people in the movie. That's not, I'm not lying. This is legitimately the plot of the movie. They're using pigs, how they train the pig. They even show a scene. There's a scene in the movie where she uses pigs. The mom, who's played by Rachel Weisz, she gets like mind controls the pigs, and so that's how they control the widows, is mind manipulation, mind control. And so that's how they did it in the movie, by the way. And I'm sitting there watching this going, so it's mind control and magic. Okay. I mean, in a world where, like, you know, there's a wizard, I'm not going to say nothing. If this was in any other movie that wasn't an MCU movie, I probably have more problems. But I'm like, okay, I mean, look, they use magic, and a magic gauntlet snapped away half the world. So, I mean, really, what am I to say? Well, that's BS. But okay. And then Taskmaster is useless. Like, she doesn't even say one word, by the way. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. She says one word at the end. She goes, is he dead? And then he's like, yes. And then that's it. Really. And I'm like, they could have literally got anybody else to play a role. And I'm not saying Olga, her role, I mean, it felt like, and when I say I can get anybody else, I'm saying, like, they could have got, like, a stuntman, which, in fact, is funny because you didn't really need an actor to play Taskmaster because it's like really a non-speaking role with one line, and really, I felt like she was really used for, like, I don't even think she really was even in a suit, really. I think she just came in for like a day, and then that was it. And she's got like full billing, and I'm like, really? I mean, Jeremy Renner has a voice cameo as Hawkeye in the movie, and I don't even know, does he have a cameo as a credit too? Yeah, the scene that everyone talks about, which I will say, this is something I like. And if you watch Avengers, when Loki's talking to the Black Widow, she's talking about Dreykov's daughter. And then I saw on TikTok, somebody put this in, which I don't have TikTok, but I saw like on Twitter, that was on a TikTok or something, and they put those two scenes together, and then you hear that "Hello, Hello" by Teen Spirit, and then you see her and then you hear Jeremy Renner Hawkeye say, "Nat, Natasha, we all clear?" And she goes, "All clear." And then they blow up the building, and I'm like, that's so genius that was referenced so back, and they brought it forth now. That's something I really liked, but I did not like the Dreykov daughter twist. I thought that was stupid. I'm like, if it would have been like the mom, I would have been like, oh, that makes more sense, and I would have liked that twist better. But to be like somebody that's other useless to have Black Widow, it's like it's like the Scream 3 of that twist. Like in Scream 3, when you feel the killer, usually in the Scream movies, when the killer pulls off his mask, he has a connection to Sidney, where he either is friends with Sidney or is related, some kind of connection to Sidney. Usually he's friends with Sidney. In Scream 3, he's pulls off the mask and she's like, I don't recognize you, and he goes, he says, I'm Roman, the director of this movie, and your brother. And I'm like, so, like, she doesn't know you. Like, that made me laugh kind of nowadays, because, like, she's like, I don't know you. Why are you? Like, in other movies, she's like, it's you. Like, it's you. And then when she's like, what? Like, really? And that was kind of like, when she took off her mask, she was just like, who are you? And then she's like, "This is my daughter." She goes, "Oh," like. And I do. There is a guy in the movie that that always keeps bringing Black Widow. Like, he needs a plane. She brings her like a shitty plane. He just keeps bringing her crappy stuff all the time. Just brings her like crappy helicopters and crappy things. And it's so funny. It's like a very funny thing, running gag throughout the movie. And finally, he gives her something good. He's like, "You let me wait, I get you something better." And then finally ddoes. And so, I really like that though. I really thought it was appreciated it. And it was fun. There are some things I did like about all the characters. I felt like every character did their part. The acting was superb. I just felt like the script was a little messy, and if they would have been tweaked on, like they had the whole entire pandemic, they could have went back and reshot some stuff. I understand after lockdown lifted, they could have went back and said, "Well, let's change this or that." But instead, they just felt like they just stuck to it and said, "It's done. Maybe if we get a sequel, we'll do another one." I just felt like it could have been better. Like if it would have just maybe the Taskmaster really could change the person at Taskmaster, make it more settled. And maybe instead of his daughter being alive the whole time, they could have made it like she's dead and he used that as vengeance against her, and that's why he hires Taskmaster. That would have made more sense instead of just being like, "Oh, it's for army and financial gain and stuff like that." But all in all, I think it's not the worst Marvel movie. I mean, but it's certainly not the best. I would say it's better than Thor: The Dark World. I mean, it's got a good 20 minutes, and it's a great action. So if you like great action, the first 20 minutes, you'll still have a good time. I'm gonna give Black Widow, if I had to grade it, a C+. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna do a review soon for the Loki's finale soon, so I'm gonna have a review for Loki very soon. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you can, just fall down the rabbit hole for more. Goodbye all, and